Hey guys, welcome to what the video for you guys. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to fix your iPhone if the battery is dying quick. Now, there's a lot of ways you can improve your battery life and then also permanently fix this issue if you're having a battery drain issue on your iPhone. Now, this can be applied on any iPhone that you have, but we've seen recently some of the software version out there impacting people's iPhone, and we're going to show you some things you can do first of all to reduce that drain and then also permanently fix it. So let's get started. So whenever you're having this issue, the first thing you want to start with is closing out all the apps that you have. And over time, you open a lot of apps and they never get closed out. So all you do is swipe from the bottom here and just simply close out all the apps that you ever had open. And if you have a lot of app open, it will kind of stop them from running in the background and draining out your battery unnecessarily. Now, the next thing you want to do is a nice forced restart on your iPhone. So in order to do a forced restart, you're going to press and release the volume up and then press and release the volume down. And then you're going to hold the side button until the screen goes completely black and the Apple logo shows up. And then you'll let go of that button. So it's volume up, volume down, press and hold, and then hold that side button until the screen goes completely black. You're not going to slide to power off. You're just going to keep on holding until the screen goes black. And as you can see here, it went black. Now we wait for the Apple logo to appear and then we let go of that button. And now we have completed a forced restart, which shuts down the phone completely, reloads the code. So if it's a software bug or glitch impacting your phone's battery life, it will resolve that issue for you. And this method is safe to do. None of your data will be deleted. All of your photos, videos, apps will still be on your iPhone. Now, the next thing you want to do in terms of some of the settings that you want to check out that could be impacting your battery life is going to be in your settings here. You're going to go into your settings and then you want to go to the first one. It's going to be screen brightness and display and brightness, which again, there's a feature which allows the phone to shut off at a certain time, which is known as auto lock. By default, auto lock should be about 30 seconds to a minute. It's like when the phone just locks by itself if you're not using it. And you want to do that because if you have the phone on, the display's on, the battery is being consumed, and you're going to feel a lot bigger drain. So recommend using either 30 seconds, maybe a minute, 2 minutes at the most, but do not have it on the higher settings or never, as that will drain out your battery much quicker. Now, another setting you want to check out is in your settings here. You're going to go to accessibility, and then under accessibility, there's also a display and text size. And then if you go down all the way here, the auto brightness, which used to be on your display and brightness, has been moved here. Now, if you find that your battery drain is really serious, I would recommend turning off that auto brightness, so that what happens is if you're exposed to a lot of light, the phone screen automatically adjusts to do that, and that takes up a lot of power and can impact your phone's actual battery life. So again, try turning it off and turning it back on, see if that makes an improvement. But recommend, if you're having a major issue with the battery drain, turning it off completely. Now, the next thing you want to do in order to troubleshoot your phone is going to be in the settings again. This time you're going to go to general here and then background app refresh. Now, this one should be off by default, but if you have this on Wi-Fi or cellular data, that means it's constantly looking to fetch new data for all of the apps that you have background refresh on. As you can see here, if you have literally tens or even hundreds of apps, all of them could be possibly running in the background, constantly looking for data to refresh, which again which requires a lot of power and then equivalently just draining out your battery. So I recommend turning that off completely. Now, the next thing you want to review in terms of your settings is going to be under notifications. So under your settings here, and then under the notification here, as you'll see here, under notification here. Now, pretty much when you download an app, most app will try to ask you or give you permission, ask you permission to be able to send you notification. Now, that's great for the important apps that you need the notification, but there's some other apps that you don't need notification, and I recommend is reviewing this list and then turning off for apps that you don't need notification, because each time the phone sends a notification, it has to go ahead fetch new data from the internet, which again requires to connect to some sort of cellular data or Wi-Fi data, and then that also in return puts a lot of strain on the battery, which in turn causes battery drain to happen quick. So if you find that, for example, you don't want notification from an app, simply just turn it off just like that and review the apps that you don't want notification. You'll see improved battery life overall and the overall experience of itself here. So go ahead and review that list. Of course, your app is going to be different than mine, so you want to go down individually and see which one apps gives you the most. A quick tip is that if you're getting an app, like for example Twitter is known to just keep on pushing out a lot of updates and constantly, those usually tend to can be a big influence in terms of your battery life. So I recommend reducing those as well. Some of the push notifications sometimes can be tweaked within the app, so you want to go to those certain apps and try to tweak it there as well. Now the next thing you want to also tweak in your iPhone, it's going to be in your settings here, and this time it's going to be around your mail. So if you have your mail, you click on it, right? If you have a Google Mail or Gmail or however many accounts you have, for each of the accounts that you have, you want to click on it, and then once you click on it, you'll see there's a bunch of options here for mail here, right? So what will happen is for the mails here, there's something called fetch new data, right? So when you fetch new data, right, there's a default option. You can have it automatically where it's constantly looking for new data. So if you get mail, right, it's going to be constantly looking for new mail, again reaching out to the internet, again putting a lot of strain on the battery and in turn draining out your battery. So what I recommend is doing, if you can, do it maybe hourly or even to manually, which is the best. Now if you need your email constantly, of course keep it to something reasonable, but if it's on 15 to 30 minutes, those usually tend to take up a lot more. We've seen a degradation of the battery just putting down. So you want to try to do manually, hourly, those two are usually good, but again, up to your personal preference, but something to test out on to see if that makes a difference for you. Now the next setting that you want to review in your iPhone in the settings here, you're going to be going to your privacy and security here under settings here. And if you're using location services and you want to review for location services, if it's on here for all the apps that are using the location, you'll see that each time you download an app, it's going to ask for your location if it's using your location. What I usually like to do is if an app needs a location, I'll try to use the setting where it says while using the app. And that's important because if you have an app that's constantly using the location, right, it's going to be putting a lot of strain again on the battery because it requires to use the GPS to locate where you are and then sending that data to kind of locate you again. Those could, if you can imagine, if you have tens or even hundreds of apps constantly looking for your location, that's going to reduce your battery and then see that quick drain happening on your battery. So review the list here, and then if you see an app, for example, you don't want it to use your location, you can simply come over there, right, and then put never as a setting here. But again, if you're using it, you need it, use while using the app, or even never would be the best option, because then again, if you don't ever need a location services, some apps just don't need it, but they still want access to your location, I would recommend reviewing that list and turning it off, going one at a time. Now, along with that, under your privacy and data here, one other thing you can do is under analytics and improvement, right? If you're sharing your data, right? Usually most people don't, but if you are sharing your data, it's going to be pushing data to Apple about to improve the services. I recommend turning it off. I personally don't like that kind of report to go happen, so you'll turn it off and you'll see improvement of your battery life as well, and that drain hopefully is reduced. Now, after you have done that, it's time to go ahead and make sure your phone apps are up to date. So if you update a version of the software on your iPhone, right, apps are also getting updated constantly. Sometimes you might already have it automatically update, but if you don't, you can go into your app store here and then click on your profile icon up top here, and then under down here where it says update all, you'll see how many apps need to be updated. As you can see here, I have a lot of apps. You can manually update each of them or click on update all and update all the apps. And it's important to update all the apps because over time, previous version of the app on running on the version of the iOS that you have might be causing issues where there's some sort of bug going on that could be draining out your battery. So it's important to update your battery. Similarly, you want to go into your setting of your iPhone and then go to general software update and update your phone's software as well. And that's important because we see some of the previous version which caused battery issues, and Apple addressed it by releasing new software updates. So in order to update your phone, you're going to go over here under your software update, download, install. Give yourself about half an hour to 45 minutes. Also, make sure you're in a good, strong cellular data or Wi-Fi connection and your phone is at least 50% or more. You click on download and install, and hopefully after doing that software update, your phone is good to go. And after you do a software update, do another force restart as well, which is always recommended after any major software update. In that case, you'll do a volume up, a volume down, one after another, and then hold the side button until the screen goes completely black. And I hope after following all these tips and tricks, your battery life is improved and it's not draining as fast. And if you found a better way to stop the battery draining happening, do share it in the comment section. And I hope this video was helpful. If so, please make sure to like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching, guys. See you guys next time.